Yes, the answer is straightforward. Fatigue is very common. The type of work we deliver as anesthesiologists and intensivists that includes, overnight work and weekend shift. So it's 365 days per year, night and day. And this necessarily contribute or potentially contribute to disrupt the circadian rhythm of sleeping. And in the long distance, it contributes to perceive fatigue as a major determinant of the quality of our life. What is interesting to know is that in a European survey, more than 90% of respondents, about more than 1,500 interviewed, reported that fatigue is a common feeling of our profession. And another notable information is that in some times and in some places and in some cultural setting, the fatigue, extreme fatigues, is perceived or presented as an inevitable part of our tasks, and eventually that connects with form of engagement. This is absolutely a false myth. The quality and the balance between work time and resting time is essential. Yes, it does. As I mentioned in the few minutes ago, the disruption of circadian rhythm influences several important organs, and most important, I would say, the sleep-awake rhythm, and indirectly the endocrine function, with more higher incidence of diabetes. It also might associate with abnormal and unhealthy feeding habits when you don't stick on prepared and fixed meals, and it might then ultimately lead to an increase of body weight and an excess of fat mass. Then it turns into several hormonal disturbances, including the gender hormones abnormalities, hypertension, arterial hypertension, increased release of catecholamines, and then, of course, increased risk for several potential health issues. So yes, fatigue directly connects with a physical health threat. This is an extremely relevant and interesting point. Fatigue connects with reduced safety standards, both toward the patients and toward healthcare professionals. An excessive fatigue with inappropriate rotation and duties might lead to suboptimal clinical care management, might associate with what we can call cowboy attitude, with taking immediate decision without balancing all the possible connected factors, and eventually might connect them with medical errors or near miss. And so this turns into be a threat for the patient. But it also turns to be a threat for the anesthesiologist and intensivist themselves in two ways. The first is the increased risk for accident on the way back from a night shift or long working hours. There is a proven increase in risk because of reduced incidence and reduced ability for concentration. So returning home should be considered a sensitive time and is a threat for the healthcare professionals. And it also might associate, should medical errors occur, with what is so-called second victim. The second victim is the doctor itself or himself that is involved in the potential or possible suboptimal care that result into some negative outcome. And of course, this sticks into the mind of the doctor and may a feeling, a sense of guilty to arise and to potentially create conditions for traumatic disturbance.